Good morning, Mr. Taylor. I am Ben Q from Ma5. Today, I'm going to present my development business leadership video to you. But before I start that, first let me give you a quick introduction about myself. So, who am I? My name is Qiu-Personal and my English name is Ben. For current, I'm single now. My date of birth is November 18th, 1997. So this year I'm 25 years old. The language skills I have first is native Mandarin speaker, and second, I'm a perfect Shanghainese speaker because I'm born in Shanghai, and third, I can speak English. And as hobby, I also know a little bit of Japanese. So speaking of sports and hobbies, first, I'm a big fan of basketball. Every week, I have to play basketball with my friend in the park. And I also like ice hockey and listening music. I think listening music can always bring me a peace. And now I'm going to, before the SWOT analysis starts, first I'm going to tell you what do I think I am as a leader. So here are the Groman's 6 leadership styles. So I think I'm a dynamic leadership styles. So why do I think I'm a dynamic styles? Because in the school, as a leader, I would like to first discuss with the group members about what are we going to do as the exam or presentation, and then we will make a decision. So I'm not going to decide the opinion on my own. I would first listen to what other people thought, and then we'll make a decision together. So that's why I'm thinking I'm a dynamic leadership styles. So now I'm going to analyze the SWOT of myself, and let's say, do I fit dynamic leadership style or not? So this is my strength. The strength is derived by the Grow Up organization by using a tools called the Clifton Strengths Assessment. It can help me develop what are the 5 top strengths of myself, and here they are. The first strength I have is consistency. So so for me, consistency is I want to people in the group following the same rules, and we can, for example, I would like to start doing a project, have a discussion first, so everybody come to the discussion, have their opinions out, and then we will start to do the work. And the second stress for me is, I would like to have new friends and to let them give me a test or a challenge, and I would like to win that test or challenge in order to make a good friend of it. So the third strength for me is responsibility. I would like people to have their own decisions. For example, one of my friends, his name is Edward. Edward once told me for this project he would like to start a new way of introduction and the new way of showing to the teachers. So I said, good, I like your ideas. As long as you can take responsibility to our group, you can in charge of it. I'm fine. So the first strength is communication. As a good group leader, I would like to communicate with my group member all the time, listen to ideas. If there's any new ideas, I think it's good. I will in the next meeting, I will talk it with the group, and let's see if they like it or not. If they like it, we will take this new idea. And the last ideation, I think, is the most important strength with me. I am a people who likes new ideas, and I like to think about new ideas. I would like to try something people never tried before and use this to challenge myself to get better. And these are the weaknesses of myself. The weakness is I got this data from leader.dna.com. After taking the test, these are the 2 lowest part of in the test, and I think that's my weakness point. So the first weakness of me is managing meetings. As I mentioned before, I would like to listen to people's new ideas, and there's a problem with that. Maybe so this will make the meeting too long. And it also may confuse people because if the idea is too much, maybe they will forgot what are they going to do after the meeting is over. So, and one more problem, maybe if I like some idea too much, I maybe will a little bit take over the meeting and just and maybe I will just say, okay, this idea sounds good. You guys okay? If you're okay, let's try this one. But sometimes I shall not do that because I think I should let others to speak more about their own opinion. Maybe they will have an even better idea than this. And the second weakness is making decisions. it's a little bit the same like the first weakness managing meeting I said, because if I hear many good decisions, maybe it's very hard to make one, to pick up a good one, and maybe instead of picking up one good one, I would like to have two or three ideas working on at the same time. In the last, let's see, I will look at the results. If which one is better, I will just pick up the last and highest mark one. So basically, I will ask the group to make like a few different versions of a same PowerPoint, and at last we will vote to choose one out. But the problem is that so the problem with this is maybe after people's hard work, but they didn't get pick up on their file or their work, maybe they will have a little bit sad about it, and this maybe will infect the teamwork. So I think these are the two weaknesses of me. And then now let's move to opportunities and threat. Opportunities and threat are the alternate part in the SWOT, and for now, the biggest opportunity and threat is COVID-19. And first, let's talk about why it's a good opportunity for me. The first opportunity is after COVID-19, a lot of people will start traveling again, and because during this COVID-19 time, a lot of former employees, they transfer either to online managing or they just resigned because they didn't get paid enough. So there's a lot of positions open in the market. But this could be also a threat for me because after the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of hotels they transformed into like half more digital, like they starting to use robots to replace the front office. They start to build like self-checking machines. So I think I can't keep to becoming a dynamic leader anymore. For the future, I have to become a transformational leader to fit the market. So after analyzing the SWOT, I think I'm dynamic leadership, but in the future, I would like to transform into the transformational leadership style. What do I want to do in the future? In 5 years, I want to be at least a front office manager in the hotel, and in 10 years, I would at least to be a rooms division head or a vice general manager of the hotels. But as a good leader, I have to know when to stop as well. If in like 4 years I can't see any hope to get promoted, I would resign and go to a different hotel to work again. Because as a good leader, they have to know, or they have to keep a backup plan, and they need to know when is the time to leave. And now, as I mentioned before, I want to be a transformational leadership style. I'm going to give a good example of a transformational leadership style people, which is Steve Jobs. So as you know, Steve Jobs owns the Apple company, but you may not know Apple company didn't went well all the way. In the early 90s, they almost bankrupt for a few times, and Steve Jobs, from changing the strategy of his company, and managed to save and make the company into now. For a good example, in the 90s, there was once that MacBook just came out, and that time their computer operating system is not that great. Almost every time they have a function problem. And so what Steve Jobs did is at that time Microsoft is the biggest computer company in the market. He just what he did is quite amazing. Is he went to Microsoft and he offered them and that he would like to learn from Microsoft of what they have on their computer, and in the future he would like to work together with Microsoft to develop further on the MacBook Air. So as transformational leadership, Steve Jobs' is ability to communicate new ideas, and he creates opportunities for good cooperation, like what he did between himself and Microsoft. Sometimes they are enemies, sometimes they are friends, and he managed the ability to build trust to his employees. He would like to offer employees chance to make their own decision. And he always, from that, he make employees feeling they always get noticed and valued it, so made the employee happy. So that's why I think Steve Jobs is a good example of transformational leadership. So let's move to the last part, conclusion. As conclusion, in the future, I would like to become a transformational leadership. The advantage I think leads to a lower employee turnover rate. A transformational leadership can place high value on corporate vision, and it also can. And as this type of leader is also good to make employees feel happy and make them feeling happy to work for you. And the last advantage is it places very high value on relationships. So as I mentioned in the example, if you trust the employees will trust you. So if the employee trusts you, that's already a good example of a good leader. But this also have some disadvantages. So as a good leaders, they have to find out ways to cover these disadvantages, which the first leaders can lie to employees. And second, they need the agreement of the employees in order to push the tasks. So general, from the SWOT, I can see I'm a dynamic. But although dynamic leadership styles and transformational leadership styles are from different framework, but I think these two can work at the same time. I think as a good leader, I can keep both the advantage of the dynamic leadership styles and transformational leadership style, combine them together, and that will be me as dynamic and transformational leadership. For a good example, is that I'm always willing to learn new stuff, but I'm also very willing to give employees power to make their own decision after I listen to the meetings and after all the meeting members thinks that idea is good. As a good leader, I will just give that employee power to let him do what he wants. So that's the end of this presentation. I hope you like it, and thank you for listening. And this is the reference list